And that don't, what is it, a grasshopper scorpion right there with those big back legs?
Yeah, I would definitely keep him in bot mode.
I don't like it the more I see it in person. That head's way too big.
I was just thinking the same thing. His head looks, it almost looks like a headmaster.
Shows you how much I listen to Bobby.
I was actually going to surprise you and tell you that I'm picking these up, but that price point is a little bit higher than what I was thinking they were going to go for. I don't even know what I had in mind. Welcome back to the channel, BVC fans. As always, I'm Bobby the Bot, but today you can call me the Tie Guy.
And I'm James the Con, and I guess I'm the hoodie guy today because you don't normally see me in one of those.
Yeah, maybe. But today we have a special round of news based off of the Hasbro Fanstream. But before we get into that, please click that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out.
Yes, and thank you to everybody that has decided to hit that subscribe button and join this journey with us. We really appreciate it, and we love sharing this news and reviews and Transformers with you.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get into it. Yeah. And so all of these images are taken directly from TFW 2005. So big shout out to them for making these readily available for people like us to talk about. So these are the three hosts. What did you think about them, Bobby?
Honestly, they weren't as bad as I normally think they are. So it was okay today.
Yeah, I thought they were actually having fun with this.
I do too.
Which was not what I normally see. So let's keep it going. And the first thing they showed off was some Reactivate figures, which we already saw. These were leaked, and they did confirm the Starscream has black because it's battle damaged, or it's supposed to be. What's my favorite word? Lazy. It looks a little bit lazy.
I actually took a look at these, and the Starscream actually looks better in person than what it did on screen, meaning the photos that we've seen.
Yeah. I actually like both of them. Yeah, I like both of them. These will be up for pre-order by 1 p.m. Depending on when this video goes out, it might already be up for pre-order. They kept saying it's a limited release, which just tells me that they're going to be getting released in their normal decals later on down the line. So I am waiting because I don't particularly like the Starscream with the black.
So they are up as we are recording right now, and I just saw the price of $62.99.
Okay.
And so that I was actually going to surprise you and tell you that I'm picking these up, but that price point is a little bit higher than what I was thinking they were going to go for. I don't even know what I had in mind, but I don't know now.
I think that's exactly on the ball. $35 for Voyager, $25 for a deluxe. Mix that together, that's $60. You add $2.99 because they need their extra money and they added black to Starscream. It makes sense with that price.
Maybe I just didn't look at it. I don't know. I don't actually know what price I was expecting. So I don't know if I'm going to pick these up or not.
Yeah. If I pick them up, I want the regular decos. I do not want these 2 packs. So here's some more images of them. And this is a wonderful view to show that Starscream really doesn't have anything going on besides the wings, which is actually kind of cool. Bumblebee's got a little bit more junk in the trunk, but, you know, what do you expect with modern-day Transformers? Here are better images. I really like this Bumblebee. I know I said I don't like Bumblebee, but this one I think looks really nice. And when it comes out in the normal release, I will pick it up. And if it doesn't come out with the normal release, I don't think I'd be too sad. So, all right, so let's continue moving on. There's a whole bunch of different pictures of these guys. And the box looks kind of cool, too. I wish it was more of the Versus box that they had before. But it doesn't look bad.
I just like the fact that they brought the plastic cover back. So that is something.
Is it back? Oh, yeah. It is. Okay, I didn't notice that. Yeah.
That's something they talked about in the stream. So I was happy about that. So for those who, like me, just don't get around to opening their figures immediately, this helps, keep that dust out. So I do like that, and yeah, I like what they're doing so far with this line.
All right, and next is what they showed off that was new. So we've already seen this leaked, and I think it looks good. I'm very happy that this is like the battle damaged limited deco, which means that the normal deco with all red, like the two gray spots in the front that we didn't like, might actually be red in the future. So I'm happy about that. And again, I'll just pick up the normal one. But what I won't be picking up is the Soundwave. I don't like it. Looks too scrawny to be Soundwave, in my opinion. And again, they stretched Soundwave out to be the same size as Optimus. It's very strange because he's a deluxe figure.
So something I forgot to mention that I did like about the Starscream in the previous ones is that his weapon now is going to come with a 5mm peg, so he can actually hold the weapon instead of just having it combine as well.
That's the Studio Series one that we're going to be talking about shortly.
Oh, I thought it was. You know what? Duh. Nope, that's why I don't do this during work hours, I guess. I do actually agree with you on that Soundwave. That is, I mean, look at those legs. He's very, very thin in the legs and in the shoulders as well. It's just, it's almost like they said, okay, we're going to start with this midsection and build everything around that. So I don't really like the Soundwave either.
And it suffers from the same black issue with the black parts that I'm assuming that Starscream does, because I think he would have a lot more silver going on in there, which might make him look better in the real release that everybody knows is going to eventually come out.
Yeah. This is also $62.99 from what I saw. So this will be one I know I'm skipping out on. I'm still kind of thinking about the other one.
This would make a great Perceptor though. In a different thing. It has the shoulder thing. It has Perceptor's secondary, truck alt mode that he's had in previous things. The scrawniness, I think this would be cool as Perceptor, personally. I know you only want Perceptor to be a magnifying glass, but, times change. And he has got a big backpack, too. Like, none of that mass could have went to his legs.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wouldn't mind it if it was a parts former and we can click some of that stuff off and click it to his legs.
Right. It doesn't look bad, but it looks better than what Hasbro's been producing for Legacy and Studio Series. I will give them that. This does look better. So again, I'm going to be skipping the Soundwave, I think, for sure. But the Prime, I might get that Prime when it comes out on a normal one. I like that Prime. And then, we'll see. Maybe I'll like the game as well, but if it's a squad-based shooter, I probably won't.
Yeah, I'm interested in the game as well. I'm going to try it out.
Yeah. So again, they're already up for pre-order by the time you watch this, so go get them if you want them, or you can be boring like me and wait for the real releases to come out next year.
Yeah, and I saw on Amazon they said that it's going to be released in February. So,
because they said on the stream they will be out before the holidays.
Yep. So that's what they said on Amazon. Maybe Pulse is something different, but either way, go pick them up if you're going to get them. Let us know if you're going to pick them up.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not the first time Amazon says something's coming out a few months after it actually does, because I know I get it. Oh, this came in, and it's, it says it's going to be out in July, and it's, March. So they could just be covering their butts to make sure nothing happens.
Just in case.
All right. So everything else was Studio Series. We have, honestly, covered a lot of this already, but we've got some new images, so let's just go over it again. First thing is Mohawk. I know Bobby's very excited for this figure. He really likes that head more than anything else, and the proportions and whatnot. So when can we expect to see this in your collection?
So the only thing that seemed kind of cool with this figure, kind of cool, was that he has articulation in his mouth. So that was, something I didn't expect. But I will be skipping out on this, even though I think they referenced Stripe from the Gremlins as well. So yeah, this is very easy pass for me.
I like the knife, but that's nowhere near enough for me to get it. Next, we have Bruticus right here. Core class Bruticus. What do you think of Frumble?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, before we get some comments, this is Rumble that just looks like Bruticus. I think this is terrible, and it looks even worse in person.
Close up.
I say in person, but on camera, because we already hinted at how those pile drivers don't touch the ground. But I mean, that position right there, it's just like, hold on, wait, I'm going to shake up the ground. Wait, let me fall over real quick. It looks like somebody used the pile drivers on him and made him fall. So yeah, that I do not like at all. The fold up box, whatever you want to call it, don't like that either.
Yeah, I don't particularly like this either. They did bring out Soundwave, so you can see that he does fit in his chest. But let's move on to Bobby's favorite Autobot from the last movie, and that is Wheeljack. So what did you think of Wheeljack?
Yeah, this is... What's funny is they were calling him Pablo on...
I know, right?
Which, honestly, that's what they should have just did. Just call him Pablo. I honestly think if this character wasn't supposed to reference Wheeljack and they called him Pablo, I would probably like him better. Honestly, this one looks better than the previous releases of the character. Okay, I disagree with you there. I think this one looks cheaper than the other ones because the hands aren't even painted. They didn't paint the symbol on his chest. He has all that kibble coming off of the back. His waist looks way too skinny. I think the other one looked better. Even though it was more kid toy, I think the other one looked better. And that's just like, which one was it? The RC was the same way. The Studio Series looked worse than the mainline kid toy, if you remember. Mm-hmm. I think it's the same thing. I think the alt mode looks great, but I think the robot mode is hindered by having to have the alt mode accurate to a Volkswagen van. Yeah, I think I would have probably...
look at that.
I think I would have picked this one. I'm not picking up, either, but I think I would have probably picked up this one before I picked up the other one. And now, granted, I have to see the face because, well, there goes those glasses. That's just killing me.
I think this looks really bad, personally. I'm sure they had the best intentions when they were designing this figure, but the design didn't hit with me already, and this doesn't hit with me now.
Just bad.
This is cool though. The alt mode's good though. I will give it to them. They did a great job with the alt mode, just like that Nightbird that came out too.
Yeah, the alt mode looks great.
Yeah. And next we got this abomination, and I don't say that in a good way, like Abominus. Again, the mainline Scorponok that I got. I actually have two of them because my dad got me one because he didn't think I'd buy anything from the movie. Shout out to him. Thank you. Looks better than this. This isn't even what it looked like in the movie. And what is it? A grasshopper scorpion right there with those big back legs?
I didn't even notice those.
Like, it doesn't even have... yeah, so I'm totally out on this. It looks really bad.
Well, the head, the head, I don't know why. It just looks like a mutated... On the previous picture, it looks like a mutated...
This one?
Wreckar. Well, no, go back. Yes. This one right here.
It looks like a melted Wreckar head. You're right. Yes. With the 4 spikes coming out of it. Yeah.
Yes. I was like, oh, that looks bad. But I like the designs around the tail. It looks, pretty realistic. I do like that. But otherwise, I'm I'm with you on this. I totally missed out on those hind legs. That's hilarious.
It looks like a grasshopper.
Yeah. So it's a little, if Kickback and Scorponok had a baby.
Well, now you have to buy it.
No.
Let's see. Oh, they want to haunt me. They want to keep showing him. All right, next we've got the Voyager Scrap Heap. I think that's his name. I don't like it the more I see it in person. That head's way too big.
I was just thinking the same thing. His head it almost looks like a headmaster.
Yeah, it does look, because it's so square. If it was a headmaster, I'd be like, okay, cool. That's actually kind of neat.
Right.
But not as a not headmaster figure. So
his head is really large, and I think I'm still gonna pick him up, but I don't love it.
I just noticed something. Look at
the head's
look
different.
At the face color.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder
which one it's gonna be.
Stop taking the words out of my mouth. No.
Go on.
No, honestly, but it's what's funny is like on the box, it looks like it's a blend of the brown and the white. So it's just like, whichever one we give you, nothing's accurate. So that is very surprising.
Yeah. And it still looks like he has a big vacuum nose. And that's all I see in this mode. Is that's a big nose. Like, I think Teletubbies, that show when I was a kid, had a talking vacuum. And that's what this reminds me of.
It does. I mean, I don't know about Teletubbies, but that thing is a huge nose or something on there. Yeah. Again, I don't love this one at all. I don't love this.
I will probably be skipping this. At $35, I'll probably be skipping this. If it was $25, $30 might be in, but $35 just seems too much for a mediocre figure, in my opinion.
And this is I'm nitpicking here. I haven't pulled out my Wreck-Gar or my Junkion in forever. Was the back leg or what you see on the back of the bike, was it waffled like that on that figure too? I don't remember.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it is the inner thigh.
It is.
So I could give them a little bit of, slack, but yeah, it is like that.
Well, I don't mind it, again, the inner thigh in the bot mode, but when you have the inner thigh exposed in the alt mode, then you're exposing the waffling, so that's why I'm kind of picking at it. But again, I don't remember it.
If there's one group of Transformers that I'm okay with waffling, it's the Junkions.
That very good point. Very, very good point. That is true.
All right, so here's Big Head in all of his glory. And there's all three of them. So I still think the best one is not Wreck-Gar. I don't remember his name. The one with the shields on his arms.
Yes. Let us know in the comments. I was trying to see if he's on my shelf, but
I can't remember his name. But I think that one looks the best out of all three of them, personally.
I'm partial to Wreck-Gar, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Wreck-Gar looks good. Wreck-Gar looks good in the coloring, but I like the new chest and head and the shoulder, the shields on him, and that's actually the only one I still have out. So, I think Wreck-Gar just for me, he was the iconic Junkion, of course, but then I love. Usually I don't like, again, the stash and goatee and everything, but it just fit with Wreck-Gar. There you go, going back on your word again. And I just noticed with this new figure, he does have different legs. So you know what? It might not have had the waffling.
Yeah.
Now that I see that it's different, I actually don't think it did. So if you're going to correct me in the comments, thank you. But I think I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's...
I like the new legs, though. I will say that. I didn't notice they were new.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to go wrong with the Junkions because of the point you made. They're so whatever. You can always blame it on, hey, they're made of junk. So I think I can pass with a lot. So I probably will again still be picking this one up, even though he does have a huge head.
All right, I'll still probably be skipping it. All right, so next we've got the infamous War for Cybertron Starscream. And I know this is one that you were waiting for because you wanted to get a Santa Claus transformer. Am I correct?
This is
or a sumo wrestler transformer.
I like his weapon.
And you know what's funny that you say that is when I was watching this, the first thing somebody said when they pulled it out, oh, we have a infamous blah blah, and they started laughing. And one of the guys said exactly what you said. I like the purple mace, and that's all he said. Which it was probably, you know, and all I could think of, oh, he did a Bobby.
That's yeah. I like the legs on the figure. Like the legs look strong and thick and like, you know, yeah, we have, you know, something going on here. Going from the bottom up, we're good. It's just that when we get to that midsection and in this picture, I love the colors on this picture. The blue, the red.
I was gonna say they angle it also so you don't see the midsection in this picture.
Yes.
They do it on purpose.
Yes. And then you see it and it's like, what? Yeah,
the coloring looks good. I've never been a fan of this Seeker design. It's never fit the Seekers with me. I don't know. I think it's High Moon Studios what they were thinking when they made this. It would be great for another jet former, but for the Seekers, I always thought that they should be slick and fast, and this looks very beefy and, you know,
not sleek and fast.
Yeah, exactly. So I've never liked this design. They did say, like you mentioned earlier, that they're making all the weapons able to be held in their hands, as well as you could rip off the arm and put it on. Even though with this particular one, it looks really bad because it looks like he has a big needle sticking out of his arm. Maybe they should do some medic or something, you know, and you could be injecting people. But this is where it really falls short for me. This alt mode is not aerodynamic at all, which I know it's Transformers. We get a lot of not aerodynamic Transformers. But these wings are like worse than chicken wings.
Those back wings are like, what are we doing with those?
I think you said this looks like a submarine, or maybe it was a comment that said this looked like a submarine or something.
I said it looked like a
and now I can't get it out of my head. This is nautical Starscream, and that's why he's so big and bulky. It's because he has some, you know, gear to withstand the pressure of going, you know, 40 leagues under the sea.
Honestly, I just can't get over those rear wings. I mean, or that's not even a wing. That it looks like they were blasted off or something like that. That's like the remnants of being blasted off. Like, what are you doing?
It's not even a fin.
It's not. It's like
it's a hinge. It looks like just a hinge.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even like something to cover your frontal regions or anything with. I mean, it's just like so small. Like, what are you gonna do with that? Yeah, not a fan.
I don't know. Yeah, me neither. The colors look good though.
Really good.
I know it's a rubber, but I think the orange is great to stand out with the rest of it. I think it's a really nice, pretty orange, but I hate that you can see the structure inside of it. The different lines, like rib cages or something like that. I don't like that. He does clean up pretty nice, but again, we can just see how wrong, to me at least, that jet mode looks.
Honestly, how are you flying? You have to be hovering because those wings aren't doing anything for you.
Or you're all propelled by jets and you have no atmosphere, so you're, you know, floating in space. Yeah. I also don't like that big black portion behind the cockpit from this angle.
Oh, yeah, that big square.
I'm assuming that's where his head is.
Yeah.
So yeah, here they are. They showed the thing with the gun, and that gun arm is horrible. I'm sorry. I know I'm being harsh on this figure, but I said this before. In the games, when their arms transformed, they bulked up and then the gun came out. He lost armor and the gun came out, you know? They did say if you do get this figure, be sure to look in the little, they called it like a flesh bag, and I was very confused with that. The little piece of parts, because the 2 things for his shoulders will be in there, and you just clip them on.
Yeah.
So if you do pick this one up, be sure to look for that. Yeah. Anything else about this figure?
Only that I'm not picking it up.
Yep. All right. So let's move on to Megatron. And I was actually surprised at this. So we've already looked at these pictures. We know he turns into this jet. They did say he's based off of Marauder Megatron, which was not a shock to me. People were already doing digibashes as this thing as Marauder Megatron. But I think it looks a lot better than when we originally saw it.
I think the bot mode looks great.
Well, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
I don't like either of the alt modes.
I don't mind them. I think I said that before. I don't mind the alt modes. The tank's serviceable. The plane is serviceable, both as Cybertronian modes. They work.
The tank is serviceable. I guess if we're looking at this, I guess Cybertronian, it can be anything, but it just looks lazy. It looks forced.
Yes, and the jet mode looks better than Starscream's jet mode that we just looked at.
Oh, I mean, it looks like he can actually fly. But I mean, maybe they have these technologies that us as mere humans don't know about, and we don't, they don't necessarily need wings like we see our ships needing wings. I don't know. I just know from their other vehicles that, going back to the Starscream, they have bigger wings than that, even if they were Cybertronian. But anyway, I digress. I just think that the jet mode on this is forced.
It looks good from this angle.
From this angle, yeah, it does.
But then you go back to this.
It's still kind of lazy. Still, it looks better. It doesn't look good. It looks better. Let me correct that.
And they said they gave it articulated fingers, which I can see 2 pins in there with this figure at this angle, which is very surprising to me. I've never seen a 2-pinned fingers from a mainline figure. It's usually just like the claw.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. I think the paint looks really good. It really shines. I think it looks great. Will I be picking it up? No. If I see it at a store, maybe, but not for $55.
If I see it at Ross,
oh, that would be an instant pickup for me.
For $15, $16.
Yeah.
I think
the tank. I think that this tank works as a Cybertronian tank. It's clear what it is. It has treads. It has a barrel. This is obviously a tank. This is what they were going with. And then I think somebody said, well, why don't we just add a 3rd mode? And they don't even have a picture of the 3rd mode. Yeah, but I do like this. I just don't need another Megatron in my collection.
You can never have too many Megatrons.
Okay, let me put it this way. I would rather have different Decepticon leaders than Megatron in my collection.
Point taken.
But I think this does look good, and I'm happy for everybody that does want to pick it up, because I see no fault in this, besides the price point.
Yeah, I would definitely keep him in bot mode. I probably, if I did get him, I'd probably transform him just to see if it looked better in hand, maybe, or to say that this looks just as bad as I thought it did, if not worse. But I think it looks good in alt mode. Excuse me, in bot mode. I'm good with the bot mode.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this more, it makes me do want it, because I want to see how it transforms and I want to see the fingers. But the price is just so cost prohibitive. I mean, that $55 can go so much further on other company stuff versus this. No shame on Hasbro. I get they got to do what they got to do, but I got to do what I got to do as well.
The thing that works for them on this is that it's concept. So,
oh yeah,
that's where the selling part for me is, where I could see picking this up, because it is a concept that they thought about. It's almost like getting a early release of something that they didn't, actually make. So
Yeah.
that's where I can see the benefits of picking something like this up.
Yeah. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see us review this figure. Because this is one I think either of us could be swayed to pick up to review for this channel.
You could be swayed.
No, not me. You need to do it. You just said you wanted to pick it up because it's a concept figure.
No. I said I could see why. No, you're picking this up.
No. All right, so that's everything. Once again, these are on pre-order today. The rest of them were on pre-order. Now, Bobby, what did you think of this Fanstream?
I actually walked away thinking I'm unfulfilled because the last 2 live streams we've seen, we haven't seen anything come through the portal. And I know that was something that they were doing on the previous few live streams. So I'm still waiting on that, or did they abandon it? They did also mention something about, someone being happy that they didn't have, not one G1 with the legacy line that they released. For me, it just means that I'm saving money.
Yeah, for me, this was the most disappointing live stream that they've done because nothing was new.
Yeah.
I mean, the leaked things, I can't fault them for, obviously. But all of the studio series / mainline, whatever you want to call it, releases, they literally already showed them all off. There was not one thing that was new besides the Reactivate things. And I think they only showed those off because they were leaked. And both of those leaks were correct. So, I mean, this has been going on for a while now. I think we can pretty much assume that all the leaks are going to be correct from here on out, as long as they are from the people that have done it in the past. Because literally everything from the beginning to the end of this was leaked like months and months ago. I don't know if you remember. I think we talked about some of these leaks.
Yeah, we've talked about them.
So it's like they need to really up the ante with these streams. Like you said, put some things in the portal, do something like that, because I don't see the point of continuing to watch them.
Honestly, the only I think the benefit I got from it was actually seeing it not as an image, but actually seeing the figure and seeing them pick it up, or seeing it, a top view, behind, stuff like that. I do like that aspect of it, but it just so happened that these figures happen to not be ones that I'm necessarily interested in. But I want them to continue to do it, even if it is something that's leaked, just so we can see what it looks like in person. I would hate to have to wait to actually purchase the figure and then open it up and be like, oh, this looks terrible from behind, or this looks terrible on the side, or whatever you want to say about it. So I like that they do have them in hand in person.
No, I get that. They just need more. This one especially needed something more. Have a teaser at the end or something. I feel, and they said they were going to do one like in a few weeks, if I remember correctly.
Because they said they ran out of time with the last the PulseCon. They said they ran out of time.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't you just mix this one with the next one and have one big one? Maybe they would run out of time again. I mean, who knows? But yeah. Anyways, hopefully we'll get better Hasbro news for you guys soon. Some interesting stuff maybe will come out, but we'll talk shortly.
Yes. So as always, please like, subscribe, share, comment, click that notification bell. We will have some news coming up for you soon as well. So James, anything I missed? Anything you want to add?
Well, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe.
I said that.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Did you?
That was the first thing I said.
All right. Well, shows you how much I listen to Bobby. So
yeah,
I'm going to say it. Go smash that like button, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Yes. As always, till all debates are won. See you next time, folks.